everybody, it's Rory again from ANS Gear, and we're going to look at another scope today. This is a 2:7 magnification, 32-inch glass, 32-inch, I did that once before, 32 millimeter glass optic on there. So a 2:7 by 32 pistol scout scope, pistol/scout scope. So this scope setup is different. Typically when you think about a scope, it's something that you have very close to your eye, and you find an eye relief that is maybe, an inch to 3 inches away from the end of the scope. Because this one is designed to fit up on a pistol potentially, or using it as a scouting scope, you're not necessarily going to be holding it right to your eyeball and looking it through. You're going to have it a little bit further distance away from you. So if you use this and you have it like right up against you, it's very odd. You can see the inside of the scope and it just doesn't look right on the inside. So this one is not designed to be really shouldered and then looked through like you would see through a typical scope. So even though I'm going to mount it up on a gun like this, it's set up for something that would be definitely out in front of you, a little bit further away. But again, 2:7 magnification, so you can control that with the dial on the side, and then a 32 millimeter window or objective lens on it. It does come with these yellow and white protectors, shades, whatever you want to call them. They are on a little bit of an elastic so that you don't lose them. Windage and elevation adjustments are on here. It is not an illuminated scope, so there's no battery or anything in it, so there's nothing lights up on the inside. Then your adjustments right here. It does have the ability for a sunshade that you can attach to the end. It is threaded right there, so you could attach a shade to the end of it if you wanted to. But it is very, very streamlined, very, I want to call it plain, but it is, just not with a bunch of frills. Take that as you want. Comes with scope rings right here, so we'll pull one out and we'll mount it up with just one. The rings do have a protective little section on them so that you're not scratching up the scope in any way. Make sure I put this on the right way. So we'll mount it on the back first. There. Now when you're doing this, because you're not going to get it perfectly centered right away, don't over tighten them. We're just going to get this first one in, not tighten it down, because we want to make sure we tighten them up evenly. Get this one in. Put that one a little bit more, this one a little bit more. Just back and forth. But I really haven't tightened it down to the point where I can't rotate this still. So now I can actually slide this back and forth on here just by giving it a little wiggle. Now we can put it up. Put it right about there. We'll loosen this one up, pull the foot out, and tighten it back down. All right, now the reason I left that loose on the top side there is so that now that we've got it on here, we can look through it and we can determine whether it is vertical or not, whether it is lined up how we want it to be. And if it's not, then we can just move it. We can twist it, keep checking it to the point where we get it lined up the way we like it, where our crosshairs are up and down, and then we can go ahead and tighten this up. Rigid on there, and there you go. I like the look of it. I like the plain look, if you're going to call it plain. Doesn't need a bunch of stuff on there. Still can adjust it, easily get to the zoom controls on it, and it just looks good. So if you have a pistol that you are shooting for distance, or you just want something that maybe help you be a little bit more accurate with your pistol, or you want to use it as a scouting scope, this would be the perfect choice for you. It does come with the other scope ring, so you can mount it up at the front. It does have what they call a Duplex Reticle on the front of it. 2:7 magnification, 32 mil lens. It's available through the website. Order yours now through ansgear.com.